guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is 31 years old and he's from Great Britain, and he's going to share his story how about a year and a half ago, about 2 years ago, he was living in Spain and working as an English teacher. And when he was there, he met this girl who's 23, really pretty girl, and pretty much from the get-go, he was completely hypnotized by her beauty amongst many other things. And it pretty much was all downhill from there. And you're going to see as I get into this story, guys, how pretty much on the first date, she let him know a major red flag about her, which he chose to ignore because obviously she was good looking and there was chemistry. And you're going to see the downward spiral like I mentioned just a moment ago. And I'm doing this story, guys, as yet another reminder of how guys can just completely they lose all their good judgment when they meet a girl that they're really attracted to. There's a lot of chemistry and all that, and how they go into that nice guy mode and become Captain Save-A, you know what, and all the mistakes typically guys make. This guy does, and believe me, he does a lot of things wrong. And here's the crazy part. Prior to meeting this girl, he's going to admit here, he had already started watching videos dealing with the type of content I did. But it was kind of more for entertainment. He didn't take it that seriously. Well, obviously he should have, because wait till you see what happens. But I do these types of videos, guys, and I'm sure you'll see a lot of patterns in these, because these are great refreshers, and constantly reading these types of stories to help you guys. Two things are going to happen. Either one, this will just reinforce why you guys don't do relationships or don't date. Or two, for your relationship guys, the types of things that happen to different guys all over the world to show that human nature is human nature, to help you not make the same mistakes. That you find yourself in a situation similar to guys in the stories I do, that you don't let it happen to you and you learn from their mistakes, okay? Because this guy makes plenty. However, just like a lot of stories I do, this guy learns his lesson the hard way, and now he's doing really well, and he's definitely gone from kind of a nice guy SIMP to being more of a player and having his shit together. So it's a really good one. Ends on a high note here. But anyhow, I'm going to get into it. He says, Dear SSM, hello, mate. Just want to say that I'm a big fan. I've been following you since October 2020, and I do enjoy your take on things of a Crimson Capsule nature. I had dabbed into the Crimson Capsule previously, but only lightly and hadn't really internalized it, as you'll be able to tell from reading some of my actions in this email. Bro, I could definitely tell by the second page how much you definitely just dabbled in it as opposed to really, absorbed it and studied it. But you learned. He says, here's the story. I'm a 31-year-old British man, and from November 2019 to March 2021, I was living and working in Spain as an English teacher. I spent most of the pandemic there, and it was eventful to say the least. In May 2020, the first lockdown lifted, the bars, gyms, and restaurants opened, but the school was still closed and classes were online, which transpired to be an extremely good setup. I worked from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. daily, allowing for gym both before and after each workday. I met this Moroccan girl who was pretty much my ideal physical type at the time at a night out. He says the pictures are included. And after some flirting, I got her phone number. Now, he has sent me about 4 or 5 different pictures of him and her. And let me tell you guys, she's good looking. Okay, she's my type. I'd nail her. No offense, dude. And so you can see easily, I can see, how this guy was certainly hypnotized. But you gotta look past that, guys. No matter how much your other brain down south is telling you to do certain things, don't do it. The next day, she and I texted a bit, and we arranged to meet for a drink that night. Good for you. You arranged to meet a drink, not a full-on 5-course dinner or something, whatever the hell they call it. A lot of guys would see this pretty girl and take her out for some several $100 or several £100, depending where you're from, or several €100 dinner. No, one drink, and that's what he did. So he did that right, but pretty much everything else is screwed up. While having a drink, she mentioned having a boyfriend, which gave me pause. First date, she's mentioning already she has a boyfriend. Bro, this is when you get out of there. But does he do that? No. But as the night went on, she would subtly drop some hints that painted the guy as an abuser. Much later on, I would come to realize this was intentional. Painted the picture that he was an abuser. So immediately, I can save this girl. She's out with me because she needs help. And I will save her. Bro, meanwhile, it's the guy that needs the saving. She was 23 years old from Morocco, but had been trapped in Spain since the virus closed the borders. These things triggered my Captain Save a Garden tool instinct, so that plus the amazing chemistry we had, she came back to my place that night, and one thing led to another. So, first date, they go home and hook up. And you knew she had a boyfriend. So, no offense, my man, but some of the things that happened to you, aside from the fact that you allowed them to happen, that's karma. Okay? Because this is an example how I tell you guys, a lot of gals they'll break up with a guy, and immediately they have another dude like that. Okay? And a lot of guys are confused, like, how could she move on so quickly? Or where would she meet the other guy? A lot of gals will line up a guy ahead of time and then break up. So right here, she's getting her backup already. And she doesn't care. Or there's ulterior motives here, as there often can be, to get something from the nice guy who doesn't suspect anything and thinks that, man, this beautiful girl, she's really into me. Says here, we spent a few days together, at which point it was June, and I went back to the UK for 3 weeks. Now that the school term had finished, completely hooked on this girl. Maybe you didn't get enough during the lockdown, so when the first ass you got, you really got hooked. I don't know what, but come on, dude. I mean, one date, you hook up, and a few days you spent together, and you're completely hooked on this girl. Not a good place to be. During this time, we called and messaged frequently, starting calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh yeah? Does she still have that boyfriend? I wouldn't have anything to do with this girl at all, dude. But especially, if you were, I would say, well, you're going to end it with that boyfriend. And I want to see proof of this through text or emails or whatever the hell it is before we continue. She's a cheater. She doesn't give a shit. That says everything you need to know about her. Cheaters are always going to cheat. And they use people, they lie, they're devious. You don't need that in your life. We called each other boyfriend and girlfriend and made plans for me to return to Spain to see her in July. She had a problem. Oh, here we go. She has a problem. And the Captain Saver, you know what can save her. She had a problem. The landlord of the place that she was renting was going to kick her out to bring in tenants who would pay more. And as a sort of illegal, no estate agents would rent to her. Well, how do you know that the landlord isn't kicking her out because she probably isn't paying the bills? Isn't that a possibility? Me, being a simp at the time, offered to get us a place thinking, yeah, it's way too soon, but she's my girlfriend. I need to keep her safe. So you're going to go back there, run a place in your name, and no doubt you're going to be one paying the bills for her. What a great deal for her. All it took was her effing you one time and putting on the charm and all that. This is when a guy has built up a lot of value for himself and has a lot of options. He's not going to race to do something like this because he's like, why would I do this just for some piece of ass? I can do a hell of a lot less and still get ass. This is why I want you guys to really build yourselves up in so many ways that you call yourself high status, high value, the best version of yourself. So you're not going to easily just, you meet one pretty girl and immediately you're going to do something like this and what you're going to see more. You're going to like, no, she's going to work to get me. I'm not going to do this, and this because why should I? I got plenty of options. Or I'm so busy in my purpose that I don't have time for this bullshit. But he learns. Anyhow, he says, so when I come back to Spain, I rent us a 2-bedroom apartment and things are great for a bit. We have fun together, great banter, amazing chemistry, and mind-blowing sex 2 to 3 times a day. I later find out that this is a manipulation tactic used by abusers called love bombing. Then one night we have a drunken argument because she's flirting and dancing with this other girl at the bar. Say, hey, bring her home. And after this, everything changed. The next day I had to return to the UK to bring more of my stuff, and I wanted to sort out the argument and resolve it before I went. She's cold and distant. I apologize, but nothing I do can seem to bring her at least halfway and willing to talk it out. Smack. Why are you apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong? You moved back there for her, rented a place which she's living at. It doesn't say if she pays the rent or not, but I'm going to probably guess not, or at least you're paying the majority of the bills. And now she's out disrespecting you. She's dancing and flirting with some girl, so maybe she's bi. And obviously causing drama. And you're apologizing for getting mad at her. And I obviously want to resolve this before you go back to the UK. But Never apologize, guys, when you are in the wrong. Because, number one, that's just demeaning towards you. But number two, that will cause the person that's causing you disrespect to have more disrespect. They'll have less respect for you and do more disrespectful things. That's what nice guys do. They apologize and they do all these things to, try to make things better. And the other person just loses more respect for him and does more BS. And you're going to see here, it is a never-ending shitstorm of BS that she causes. All because the mind-blowing sex for 2 to 3 times a day. And again, yeah, she's pretty. I've seen her pictures, dude. But again, no pussy's worth that. Anyhow, he says, we sort of made up just before I left, which means no, you didn't. But for the time I was in the UK, I had a bad feeling in my gut about everything. Trust your gut. Your gut knew something was wrong here. I bet you wish you could go back in time to that first date and said that second she said she had a boyfriend, gone, out of there. Things weren't the same this time, and I returned to Spain again in August to prepare for the new school year. A lot of traveling in an apparent pandemic, I know. For the next 2 months, I ended up doing the pick-me dance, desperately doing shit for her, trying to get back to a time where things were good. Typical nice guy behavior. I'm going to keep doing all these gestures and nice stuff to get you to like me more. The more guys do that crap, the more it turns girls off. Meanwhile, the guy, if he put him, first of all, he should have ended it. He shouldn't have gotten involved with her, but then after she started pulling that crap, he should have ended it and say, you know what? It's not going to work. That's a bad idea. Pack up your stuff. Go stay with a friend. If you don't have a friend, well, you know what? Hey, and kick her out. And you're going to see here more and more things definitely warrant him kicking her out. He says we would have more arguments. She started sleeping in the sped bedroom more often. Sometimes she called me her boyfriend in front of my friends, but in her friends, I was just a roommate. There you go. I put a lot of this down to her suffering from depression and the whole traumatic experience of being trapped in a foreign country. You're making excuses for her. That's what you're doing. Instead of just saying, you know what, she is not who I thought she was, or I'm doing things to turn her off and acting like, a simp. It's easier just to say, oh, she's depressed. It's not me, it's not my fault. Or it's not that she's crazy, she's just depressed. No, don't make excuses for him, guys. She's acting like an a-hole and she's taking advantage of you. That was probably her intent all along, because now she's got a free place to stay. I came back from work one evening to find her and a male friend, he put friend in parentheses, who I never met before, in my apartment, looking sheepish. She left the key in the door inside so I wouldn't be able to open it from the outside. I, clueless and confused, let her explain the whole situation away. Again, more nice guy stuff. So notice how the disrespect keeps getting worse and worse and worse, right? And he kept doing and doing and doing. Perfect example, guys. You don't treat people well that are mistreating you. It's only got to turn them off and make him have. Think about it, guys. If you're a relationship guy, or you're dating or whatever, and you're treating the girl like crap, and you know you're treating her like crap, and she keeps kissing your butt, are you going to respect her more, or are you going to respect her less? Less. And you're going to keep pulling bullshit. And gals thrive on pulling bullshit on guys they don't respect. And right here, now she's bringing a dude home. What do you think was going on? She starts staying at now she starts staying out late every night, flaking on plans that we make. She starts spending a suspicious amount of time with this male friend. We went from having 2 to 3 times a day to once a week, and I could tell she was nowhere near as enthusiastic as before. That's because she was getting it from someplace else, no doubt this guy or multiple dudes. And yet you're still letting her live with you. The reason that she moved in with you is because you saw your situation as a relationship, that she was your girlfriend. She's no longer treating you like a boyfriend. She's no longer treating you in any way, shape, or form like when you first met. So you have every reason to kick her out. Okay. You got a week, you got 2 weeks, whatever it is, within reason to find your own place. If not, hey, she goes out, you have a locksmith come in, change the locks. I'm assuming, again, she doesn't pay any of the expenses, or her name is not on the lease. I don't know how things work in Spain, but, I'm basing things here in the States. And again, you just never know what the law may be of where you live about booting somebody out. But the point is, you're done. You should have ended it with her a long time ago. In September, we had a particularly bad argument. More drama. It was a Friday night, and I had gone out with my friends, and she had gone out with hers. At the end of the night, we came back to our apartment at different times and get into a drunken argument about 3:30 in the morning. She pushes me, I don't move. She punches me in the face, pauses for half a second, and then punches me 5 times in my chest. It doesn't hurt physically, but mentally and emotionally, my heart was breaking. I don't hit her back. I don't do anything. She runs off into the night. I go after her because this city isn't the safest place at night. I bring her back, and we go to sleep without a word being said. Now she's hitting you. See how this gets worse and worse and worse? What I tell you, the more you act like, let's be honest, a bitch, you're going to get treated like one, and this gets worse and worse. So guys, enough with the white knight crap. Enough with the nice guy stuff. Stop doing all these gestures when gals treat you like crap. This is the type of thing, perfect example of what I tell you and what can happen. But this guy keeps just taking it and taking it and taking it. Now, smack him. The next day we sit down at the table and we have a talk. She says she wants to move out at the end of the month, and I agree. Thank you, Jesus. I would say, goodbye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, sweetie. She doesn't remember punching me that night before, but apologizes when I tell her. Things are awkward for the next few days. She oscillates between hating my guts and wanting to reconcile. Not that this behavior isn't unusual for gals, but this sounds like she's bipolar. I'm not giving her a way out here. I'm just stating something that's a possibility. The whole time I'm talking with my friends and with my sisters, they are all advising me to kick her out of the place. You should have listened to them. And this is an example when you can listen to women about other women. Your sisters are right. I couldn't bring myself to do that, knowing that she'd be homeless in a foreign country. Smack. It's not your problem. And believe me, she got you, right? She got you to shack up with her and obviously get a place and be responsible for the place and pay the bills. Pretty young girl like her will have no problem getting somebody else. And how about that male friend of hers? She can go shack up with him. But the point is, it's not your problem, okay? Again, with this nice guy shit that you've been brainwashed and programmed in today's world. Self-respect. A few days after this, she wants to sit down and withdraw her decision to leave at the end of the month. Probably because she couldn't get a place. Probably the guy she was hooking up with, who's probably the Spanish version of the Chad and Tyrone. You're not living with me. Oh, hell no. So she needed to be on her best behavior to keep this place. I agree under the condition she lets this male friend of hers know that I am her boyfriend and he is firmly in the friend zone. She evades this point, which confuses me, but I let it slide and let her stay. Smack. How much bullshit do you have to go through until you finally get it, my man? Listen to this. Things were better for the next 2 weeks. She cooked for me, called me babe, and we had you-know-what all more often. Because she probably doesn't have any options, any place to go. That's why. She knows how to turn on the royalty treatment like that. And she knows how to turn it off like that too. Then at the start of October 2020, the border opened to Morocco for 2 days, solely for Moroccan citizens trapped in Spain. Her exact situation. I planned to take her to dinner that night. I gave her some cash to get herself an outfit. Why are you giving her money? To get an outfit? She needs an outfit to go back home? She's got clothes. I'm sure she's not walking around the city with a potato sack wrapped around her. She spent the day saying goodbye to friends that she made here. Friends she could have lived at, I might add. And was getting late. She ended up flaking on this date. She comes back to the apartment, starts a fight, then runs off. More drama. I look out the window and see her getting into the car of the just a friend. SSM, I do know how stupid this whole situation sounds to you and to the other lads watching. Bro, yes, it does sound stupid, but I've done enough of these stories to know that guys will make these types of mistakes, and then they learn from them. So, and yes, you're going to get crucified in the comment section. If there's one thing you can count on from the audience that watches my videos, is that you're going to get comments. But you had the balls to send me your story. I respect that and I appreciate that, and you're helping other dudes out. So, plenty of guys made mistakes. Maybe not to the extent that you did, but plenty of guys made similar mistakes. I sent her a quick text saying that I was going to have a drink with some friends near the apartment and to come join me if she cools off. Why? Let her get out of there. You never have to see her again. She's not your girlfriend. She's using you. And I know you know this now. She does, and plays the happy, loving girlfriend in front of my friends. At the end of the night, my friends go inside the bar to pay the bill. My girlfriend breaks down crying and apologizing profusely, telling me she loves me. She's psycho. We kiss and make up for everything and go to bed. The next morning, she leaves the city and country, crossing the land border. We talk and video call every day, and she cries every time. Why are you still talking to this broad? I was alone in the apartment for a week, and then my mate moved in. I couldn't help but notice how quiet and peaceful everything was with her gone. Yes, and I'm sure it was wonderful with all the turmoil and drama. About 2 weeks after she left, we break up, instigated by her. Because the border is closed, we won't be able to see each other. A few days after that, she sends me a long text out of the blue, thanking me for everything I did for her and telling me how much she loves me. She's psycho. She doesn't love you. She's not capable of love. And she'll be using somebody else soon enough in Morocco or some other poor sucker. For the next few months, we would talk like once a week, reminisce about the video games we played together, send each other memes and stuff. We wish each other happy Christmas and New Year. My curiosity and suspicion overcame me one day in January 2021, and I straight up asked her who she cheated on me with. Well, I'm curious, is she supposed to be your girlfriend at this point in your mind? I'm a little confused there. I hope not. Because if you're not in your mind on those terms, why asking about the past? You should, when she left, I mean, you should have ended it a long time ago, obviously, but when she crossed over the border, it should have been done. Have a nice life. That's it. Because she's still, even though she's not there, she's still bringing drama into your life. You can't get her out of your damn head. If you want another girl, start dating other women. Although after this story, you definitely need to spend some time doing serious soul searching and studying upon many of the things I talk about before you venture out into the dating world again. But why put yourself through this shit? Anyhow, he starts reminiscing about the past. She freaks out, gets hysterical, and says, just because I cheated on the last guy with you, why would you think I would do the same to you? He was abusive. She admits to cheating with just a friend and says, we kissed, but we didn't have sex after some playing for time. So, yeah, why would you think that I would cheat on you, even though she cheated on her ex? Because that's what cheaters do. And sure enough, she did cheat on this guy. He says the cheater will only admit to the bare minimum that they think they can get away with. This is apparently called trickle-truthing. If the cheater says they just kissed, it meant they had sex. If the cheater says there was only one guy, there were many. I knew deep down that she was cheating at the time, but she'd done a very good job of gaslighting me during the time that we were together. Yes, she was a master at the gaslighting. All she was able to offer me was the occasional awkward, uncomfortable, robotic, I'm sorry, devoid of any response or any emotion whatsoever. Because she doesn't have those emotions. She kind of sounds like a sociopath to me. She would say, I feel like I'm apologizing for the actions of someone else. As if she had a brain transplant like in the movie Get Out. There would also be other cop-outs. She'd say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend. I thought we were just roommates. Women and accountability, right? Exactly. 100%. Just roommates. Okay, if we were just roommates, why don't you pay me all the money, the half that I spent to cover you on the rent and food and utilities and all that, if we were just roommates. You say something like that, I'm sure you would never hear from her again. For a while, I would hope that she had some plan to make it up to me, to earn my forgiveness. Fat chance. Then my birthday rolled around in February and I didn't hear from her. I'm ashamed to say that I was really hoping to. A few days after that, I finally got my head around the truth of the matter and sent her a message saying, I don't forgive you. I have no desire to be your friend. Please don't contact me again. Goodbye. Well, you weren't talking to her anyway, so why'd you have to do that? I think you wanted to do that so you could just have the final word and feel better. I was partially tempted to send her a longer, more intense message, but it would have made a difference. In any case, I then blocked and deleted her and haven't heard from her since. Good. Normally, I would say don't give them the satisfaction of blocking them because they'll be able to tell you're blocking them because they would then show them how much they got to you. But in your case, you do need to be blocked and deleted from this girl at all costs. No communication. You need that to get over her and that connection, that tie. I left Spain in March and came back to the UK for a few months. In that time, I spoke with a professional therapist, worked out daily, and got my shit together in general. I applied for and got an English teaching job in Thailand, so at the start of June 2021, I moved out and I've been there since. The money is less than Spain, but so is the cost of living, so it balances out. The job itself is a lot easier with less to do that frees up more time. Dude, that's cool. You got a cool job, man, seeing the world like that. A young guy like you, I mean, you're young to me, 31 years old. Good for you. As it turns out, a decent-looking foreigner with a good job and a Tinder account can do quite well for himself here. My man, do not make the same mistake you did with the chick in Spain, because you said Tinder account, and we know the type of gals you can attract on Tinder. I'm dating casually. There are a few girls that I'm seeing semi-regularly, and they know what the deal is. I've had a couple of girls subtly push for a serious boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. If they do that, I ignore those hints. If they ask for one afterwards, I politely but firmly say, I enjoy your company, but that's not what I'm willing to do. And they usually drop it. If it happens a third time, usually they're becoming a bit frustrated by now, and they're not getting what they want, so they push it for more forcefully. I'll say that we should stop seeing each other and either remove her info from my phone, 3 strikes, and you're out. Good, you've learned. Good job, bro. Do your job there. Enjoy the experience of Thailand. Get around, travel, see as much as you can. Enjoy the local cuisine, and I do mean that in different ways. But don't get in a serious relationship. Because these gals, they're looking to trap a guy. You made the big mistake before, being the Captain Savior, you know what, and the nice guy, and look what it got you. But now you just don't care. You're firm, you know what you want, and you put yourself first. And I'm sure you're getting even more chicks than before. Because before, it was just her. But now you have a whole variety of ones after you. And you realize, I don't have to do anything, and they're chasing after me. It's the best place to be. You want to put yourself in that position of leverage. All of these girls are infinitely nicer than my ex-girlfriend, despite being just as beautiful. They do a lot for me. Some cook and bring me food. Some drive me around. Some have treated me to nice dinners at fancy restaurants and hotel stays. If I need help with sorting out anything out in Thai, they're happy to help me, no questions asked. But that doesn't matter because this time I'm putting myself first. Ding, ding, ding. And however I want to play out our interactions is how it will go. If they don't like it and they expect anything more, we can go our separate ways. Yes. See, you have a my way or the highway attitude. You come first. And you notice how he's saying girls. Multiple women are chasing after him, doing all this stuff, cooking, taking him places, helping him with his job, all these things. He doesn't have to do shit. And they're chasing after him. Meanwhile, with the other girl, he was doing everything for her, right? And she was treating him like shit. Are you guys picking up on a pattern here? If you are, congratulations. You focus on yourself. You do what's best for you. You live your life. You have a good time. You're not a jerk. You're not mean. And you have a good time with them, but you don't chase after them. You're not pursuing a relationship. And you let them come to you. And they're going to try to get you. Now, mark my words, if one of these girls who's cooking for him, taking places, doing all these things for him, if he finally settled down with her, I'm willing to bet you that all that royalty trip would slow down. Guaranteed, because, oh, well, I got him now, especially they moved in together. That's why it's always the best position for a guy to have them constantly chasing after you. How do you have them chasing after you? You put yourself first. You don't make yourself too available. Okay, you make them fight for your time. You obviously don't live together because that way they're always wondering where you are, who you're with, when they're going to see you again. But when you're with them, you have fun. And there you go. Just like that. Good job. So, I learned quite a lot from this drama, but for the Moroccan girl, I had never been cheated on. I'd never been physically hit or lied to or gaslit to an extent. It sucks that it happened, man, but look how much wiser you are now. Look, it was a painful experience, and yeah, you acted exactly as you described yourself, but hey, many guys have done this before you, and many guys will do it after you, and either people may keep making the same mistakes, or they learn from them. You've learned, and look where you are now. So, you can give yourself a pass on what you did before because it was a learning experience. Now guys all over the world that you will never ever consider, you never even know, are going to benefit from your tough experience by you sharing your story. So this is awesome, man. Good has come from this. I'm still a bit angry about it, but at least now, moving forward, I know exactly what red flags to avoid: love bombing, painting the ex on, or current boyfriend as an abuser, I know not to ignore the gut feeling of something wrong, and I know to always walk away and forget about them forever at any sign of abuse. Correct. Exactly. Best thing a guy can do is walk away. Too many men have been indoctrinated by society to believe what they have to do anything and everything for their girlfriend/wives because that's what a gentleman does. Well, women haven't been ladies for quite some time. It's the truth. Even if they were, don't set yourself on fire just to keep someone else warm, especially not if that person has a high sense of entitlement and expects you to do so. Be a good person by all means, but have solid steel boundaries. It will piss women off, but stand firm. Right. I like that, Be a good person, but stick by your steel boundaries. Correct. As I said, thanks for reading, mate. And if you think of any of the lads who watch your channel could benefit from hearing the story, feel free to make a video. All the best and respect for the work you're doing. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you sharing your story. Yes, you definitely weren't at your best with that girl, but you learned a hell of a lot. And so I'm glad that you've learned and you're doing great overseas. Just keep doing what you're doing. Do not make the same mistake twice. How hot, whatever hot Thai girl finally catches your eye that you really like, just remember all the crap you went through, and that will keep you from making the same mistakes. But good for you, bro. I wish you well. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, just like this dude, if you got any great stories you'd like to share, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Write it in good detail like this guy did. This is well written, good paragraphs. Easy for me to read, easy for people to follow, and if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it down the road. It may take a while, but I'll get to it. And guys, also, if you're on Instagram or Locals, by all means, follow me, Strong Successful Male. I'm really making a push into social media this year, and so far, so good. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.